This is the 6th of 25 custom videos that follow our hero John through the process of leading a PMP project. Each video is designed to use John's experiences to help you understand and remember key concepts that you will face on the PMP exam. This case study, Understanding Who is Affected, is directly related to 13.1 Identify Stakeholders. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify the key output of the Identify Stakeholders process, understand the value of expert judgment in helping to gather the detailed information necessary to analyze and classify each of the project's stakeholders, and recognize the tools and techniques used to graphically depict each stakeholder's level of influence, engagement, and interest regarding the project. The list looks pretty good, but I think you should definitely add Sam from procurement, and what about Olivia from quality assurance? John had heard this same type of comment 4 times over the last 2 days. After obtaining the sponsor's approval of the charter, John began the task of building a list of project stakeholders. As he added Sam and Olivia, he remarked that it really did feel as though he was literally building the list person by person. Every time he shared the list with a new stakeholder, the list inevitably grew. What started as a few names and basic details, name, position, contact information, quickly grew into a detailed list with description information. Sarah had stressed the importance of this list when he hand-delivered a copy of the approved charter. She explained that it was essential to understand the stakeholder landscape and referred to it as the stakeholder register. As stakeholders were suggested, John followed up with simple questions aimed at understanding each one's perspective on the project. Having fleshed out the list into a well-developed register, John met again with the sponsor. Prepared with a basic classification model, John led with a simple and direct request. I would like your assistance in analyzing each stakeholder, namely by their level of concern with the project's outputs and their level of authority in the organization. I aim to use this understanding to develop strategies that will help us build support and lower the risk of issues. Working methodically, they analyzed and classified everyone, placing them on the classification grid and defining a perceived level of engagement. John made sure to record the detailed information on the register. Moving through the list, John quickly realized how valuable the sponsor's experience was. He understood how the corporate history and individual stakeholder personalities played into the situation, and he was able to identify opportunities to build strategic coalitions to mitigate risk. Leaving the sponsor's office, John felt confident. He was beginning to better understand what he would need to do to help make this project a success. Understanding Who is Affected questions. Question 1. What type of classification model did John use to assist in analyzing stakeholders? A. Salience model. B. Power interest grid. C. Power influence grid. Or D. Impact influence grid. Question 2. In the grid, which quadrant represents the greatest risk? A. Lower left quadrant. B. Upper left quadrant. C. Upper right quadrant. Or D. Lower right quadrant. Question 3. What was the primary output created through the Identify Stakeholders process? A. Signed project charter. B. Assumption log. C. Stakeholder register. Or D. Stakeholder engagement plan.